Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. Now it's transfer deadline day. We're very excited, and I'm particularly excited because there's news that we could be re-signing David Luiz.
Mate, I'm so excited about this. It's a bolt out of the blue. It's something I never expected. Just before I went to bed last night, I was checking Twitter, and all of a sudden, David Luiz on his way to the bridge.
What do you mean checking Twitter? Checking the Chelsea Fans Channel?
Your Twitter, that's what I meant.
So, the purposes of this video, we have each selected a side. We flicked a coin, and I am going to argue against David Luiz. Jack is going to argue in favour of David Luiz. This may or may not be how we actually feel, but we're going to make the strongest case that we can in favour of signing him or not in favour of signing him. And you, comment below, let us know who do you agree with and who made the strongest arguments. Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to go first, and I'm in favour of re-signing David Luiz. Now, Rory, let me just put this to you. The boy is a natural-born winner, okay? He was with us from 2011 to 2014, arguably one of our most glorious periods, right? With David Luiz at the helm, even though he's a bit suspect, you could never properly rely on what he's going to do. We won trophies with him. We won the Champions League, we won the Europa League, we won the FA Cup. He loves playing for Chelsea. The Chelsea fans love him, and that's why we should sign him, because he's a winner.
Okay, good points, Jack. You mentioned something, though, that's very important. You mentioned he's a bit suspect. That's a quote from you. This is you arguing in favour of him, and you've said he's a bit suspect.
I did.
So we aren't in the market for suspect footballers. We're in the market for solid, guaranteed, reliable footballers. We cannot have somebody at the back in an already shaky back line who has the capacity to go mad. I can see that David Luiz is a wonderful football player, but I would also suggest that he's an idiot, and therefore we cannot sign somebody who we cannot trust at the back.
Okay, you talk about trust, Rory. You say you can't trust Luiz. Well, I feel at the moment I can't trust anyone else apart from John Terry as a centre-back. I can't trust Cahill. I can't trust anyone else that pairs up with Terry. And these days, as the older Terry's getting, we're going to be able to trust him less and less. David Luiz, we can rely on in terms of his tenacity, in terms of his desire to win even. We can trust him because we know he's done it for us before in a blue shirt. This isn't like taking a gamble on someone we've never heard of before. This is someone who wears his heart on the sleeve, who plays for the club, and that's why we should sign him.
I think another strong reason as to why we should not re-sign David Luiz is because of the money involved. It's £30 million for a player who's 29 years old. That is an awful lot of money. You know, we know that he has a flaw in him. It's madness to spend that sort of money on a player who we know is flawed. All you've got to do is cast your minds back. You know, I can think of countless examples for Chelsea, but a very high-profile one. Just think what happened when Luis Suarez played against him. He took him for a ride. We can't, you know, he was nutmegging him all over the place. We don't need players.
That's one occasion.
Well,
that's one occasion. I could name countless occasions where David Luiz has bossed the show. You know, I'm thinking of like the Napoli, when we played Napoli in the Champions League. I'm thinking of like his performance in the final against Bayern Munich when he played 120 minutes through the injury, when he scored the penalty. You talking about him getting nutmegged by Suarez, it's like saying that game where Brazil got hammered in the World Cup. It's a one-off.
Well, it's not a one-off because that's another occasion where David Luiz played, isn't it?
Okay, Roy, the next thing I want to talk about is personality, it's character. It's that thing that was really lacking in the Chelsea dressing room last season, and I reckon if we'd have had David Luiz playing for us last season, we wouldn't have been in nearly the trouble that we ended up in. Character in terms of, let's go back to the European Cup final, all right? Our whole squad was decimated. John Terry was suspended. You know, we barely had a starting 11s a bit out there. You know, there was Bertrand was on the pitch, Cahill, Bosinga. You know, these aren't naturally the best players that we've ever had. But David Luiz was there. He stood tall. He did the business. He played one of the best 120 minutes of his career through the pain barrier. He then had the balls to step up, bang his penalty in, give it loads to the Bayern Munich fans, and then when we won, to sit on the crossbar and celebrate in style. Anyone who does that is all right by me, and he should be back in the blue shirt.
For the record, I love the point that you just made. However, the point that I'm going to make here should solidify my victory. And that is, we should be looking forward. We should be looking forward. We shouldn't be looking back. Everything you said was great, but it happened at a time gone by. It happened when David Luiz was a better player than he is now. You know, he hasn't had the best time at PSG. Hence,
he's won all 4 domestic cups in France.
He's suddenly worth £20 million less than what they paid for him. Like, this hasn't been a roaring success for him in Paris. And I think that we should be looking forward. We should be looking at players like Christensen. We don't want to have a situation where Kurt Zouma comes back from injury and doesn't get in a team because we've gone back 5 years. We need to be going in one direction. That direction is forward. I also don't think that he's going to really be a Conte player. I think that Conte likes discipline. We saw in the Euros.
Why would Conte even be sniffing around him?
Have a bit of respect.
Sorry.
I just think that He isn't a Conte player. We need to be looking forward. And this signing, it just really could be shambolic. You know, we need somebody who is strong, will stand tall and be the perfect, solid centre-half. Not some lunatic who is potentially going to score for 40 yards, but equally potentially get sent off and give away 2 penalties in a game.
Yeah, but for those 40-yard goals, that's what football is about, and that's what it's worth signing him.
Right, there you have it. What I need from you, though, will you comment below, let me know whose arguments were more compelling, who do you think is correct, and would you like to see David Luiz playing for Chelsea?
I think you know what the answer is.
He's done it again. You don't understand the rules of this game, I'm off.
Go on, get out of it. So, as he said, who made the most compelling argument? Let us know in the comments below. Would you want to see David Luiz back at Chelsea? Remember, blue is a colour.
Welcome to Backpage Blues, and it's time to do a bit of a Backpage Blues extra time special because we've just heard something that's very, very interesting. Chelsea are about to put a bid in to re-sign David Luiz.